All right, so Doug says 30%. You say no way. What do you guys think? How many close on the spot? What percentage?
I think that we have a percentage to get because we don't present enough on the spot.
Crazy. You guys are killing me. Let's just make up a number. Let's say it's 10, 15%, right? That somehow you get lucky and they're like, hey, don't leave. I want to buy from you. Like, so if, let's say 5% say no, 15% say yes, right? So we'll say 20% are in that yes or no. What does that mathematically tell us? How many are in maybe?
85%, 90%.
You're not good at this, are you? 15% say yes.
Oh.
5% say no.
Okay, 80%.
You're flying planes? I'm just kidding. The 80% say yes or no, right? So, I'm sorry, 20, look, you got me all messed up now. 20% say yes or no, which means 80% said what? Maybe. You guys get paid commission, right? How much time are you spending on 80% of your money? I'm asking. How much, like, so you go out, you do the job, you do all the work, get on the roof, you do the paperwork, you send it off. How much time are you spending on that 80% that hasn't bought yet? A couple hours? What does that look like?
Per job.
I'm talking about after you've already done the work, right? It's the next day. How much time are you spending earning 80% of your money? 5 months? 5 minutes? So what does that 5 minutes consist of? So making a phone call the next day? What happens if they don't answer? You guess or you do?
Theoretically, you do.
Theoretically, you do. Let's be honest with each other. How much time are you guys spending on follow-ups?
Not enough.
And I just write a note that says customer did not answer the phone, left voicemail.
Yeah. This is the one thing, man, that will absolutely blows my mind. And it's not just you guys, it's everybody. You think about this. You go out you spend 2 hours with your customer. You get to know them, you do all this stuff, you get on the roof, you get dirty, you get addicts, you crawl spaces, you sweep, you do all this stuff, you tug around heavy equipment, you get on roofs, you risk your life, do an inspection report, you do a proposal, send it off. 80% of your people are not saying yes or no. They're just waiting to give you money. Think about it. And we're not doing anything with it. Is that not insane? Is that not crazy that we wouldn't take 5, 10, 15 minutes to try to earn 80% of our money? Think about it. Even if you got half, what would happen if you went from 10% of yeses to 20% of yeses?
Make a big difference in our paychecks.
It would double your paychecks. What if you went to 30%? Triple your paychecks. What if you literally took the check you got this week and it was 3 times as much? Would that make a difference in your life?
Oh man,
What if you did that every single week?
it'd be wonderful. That's why my checks are inconsistent because I'm not consistent with what I do.
Yeah, I mean, it is guys, the guys that are killing this care so much about they're not calling for the sale. They're calling because the customer still has this problem and they want to see if they've resolved it yet. And can you be any part of helping them do that? Right? It's not Miss Jones, hey, just call and see if you're ready to, get any questions about this job, is this something we want to do? Hey, Miss Jones, I was looking at my paperwork, I didn't see that we'd taken care of this water intrusion issue for you yet. Is this still something you're dealing with where you get somebody to help you with that, or is this something that's still on your radar? Right? It is mind-blowing to me when you look at this, guys. I mean, you look at what percentage says yes, what says no, how much time that we're spending on that. Just this one thing alone, I'm telling you, this one thing. So a stat you need to know is that 50% of proposals that will close within 48 hours. It's a true stat in our industry. 50% of proposals that will close within 48 hours. So if you knew that stat, when are you making your follow-up calls?
Next day.
Yeah, the next day, right? So in spin selling in the book, Neil talks about these 2 concepts called the 2 types of maybes, right? He says there's an advance and a continuation. And I've talked about this for 10 years. And most people that I work with do what's called a continuation. That is, And really the only difference between these is who's in control, right? Is the customer in control or is the rep in control? And so a continuation looks like, okay, well, I'm the rep, I'll email this over to you. Here's my card. If you have any questions at all, you call me, you email me, I'm your guy, anything you need, you let me know. You leave that house, you go into the GPS to the next one, and you never think about that customer again unless they call you. That is pretty classic continuation. The only thing that is going to happen is if the customer makes that happen, right? The advance is a scheduled next step that you are in control of that the customer expects, right? So an advance would be like, we presented on the spot. Alan, I appreciate that. I'm going to talk with the husband. We'll get back with you tomorrow. No problem at all. Do the whole couple shots of Jack thing. Do me a favor. And here's exactly what I do. I'll say, do me a favor, write down what you guys talk about tonight, and then I'm going to call you tomorrow. I'll go over whatever's on this list, make sure all your questions are answered, see if you need some more time to process or if this is something that we're ready to do. Do me a favor. Now, I know you guys use Service Titan, so you don't have the exact, do they have work phones? Do you allow them to dial direct through work phones or always through Service Titan?
Do you all use Phones Pro or you call from your,
We call them our work phones.
call
But
directly from your work
the
phone?
initial call, I always call through Service Titan, so
Okay.
it records the phone call.
So either way is fine, but if you called them from your phone directly, or what I'll do is I'll say, all right, Ms. Jones, the number I called you from earlier is my direct number. Will you go ahead and just make sure that you have that in your phone? And she'll be like, yeah, I got it from here. We called you, you're on your way. Perfect. Go ahead and save that in there. Put down this Christian, the chimney guy. I'm going to call you tomorrow from this same number. Is this typically the best time of the day for you, roughly 8, 9 o'clock? Okay, perfect. Well, I'll call you and just have that piece of paper in front of you, and we'll just go through whatever questions you and your husband come up with, okay? Now, if I call you tomorrow and you see my name and you don't answer, I'm taking it personal. So we're going to talk tomorrow at 9? All right, cool. Sounds good, right? And just kind of make it fun. Like, set the expectation, right? I always, and again, this is the different, Service Titan kind of screws this up a little bit. It's the one bad thing. Because I'll put that customer in my phone as well. So like Karen Jones, I'll put Karen Jones in the first name field, and I'll put the date I gave the proposal in the last name field. And then usually in the notes, I will put just something that helps me remember $7,200 proposal, crazy white dog, whatever. And then that way, if she ever calls me, even if it's 6 months from now, it's like I look down Karen Jones 5'1". It's like, oh, hey, Miss Jones, and I'm like, what the? How did you know that was me? Like, it's like I got you. I'm your chimney guy. You're on my phone. Whatever. It's like I see. How's Bozo the crazy dog doing? Yeah, whatever. Right? Think about how impressive that is to your customers when you do it. You can do the same thing with Service Titan. It's just a little more complicated. So. Always, again, we're going to get you into where you're proposing on the spot, and then you're going to start scheduling the advance. So, all right, we're going to play a little game. I want to get out of this for just a second. Come on. All right. I am your customer. You are selling to me, and I am thinking about doing business with your company. And these are the things that you would tell me as to why I should choose your company over someone else. Why is All American Chimney better than your competition? You start puking out ideas.
You have a Master Chimney Suite.
Master Chimney Suite.
Licensed and insured.
Certified technicians.
We have a full office staff.
Why choose you? Prices are the same. Warranties.
We've had an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau for the last 17 years.
Fantastic.
I would like to say we're perfect. We're not.
Yeah.
We're just the best company in town. Things happen. And when things happen, you want to know there's a company there that stands behind the work, that is there to answer the phone when you call in those instances.
Damn, sign me up. Get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it, right?
Yes.
Tell me you don't watch Tommy Boy. That's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah. Living in a van
That's right.
down by the river.
That's right. That's brilliant.
I've heard this before. I know where you're going.
Yep. Where am I going?
Ruin it.
Oh, you can run it. Where am I going?
Everybody says this.
Yeah. The master chimney sweep's legit, right?
That is legit.
The people don't understand what that means, so you have to explain it, right? You know, I've got one. The owner of our company is one of 100 people in the entire world that has gone through enough training to be determined what we call a master chimney sweep. Like I said, he knows more about chimneys. He's forgot more about chimneys than I'll ever know. That kind of stuff, right? We have a team around us with hundreds of years of experience. But yeah, this is something I've talked about many times. Is when we talk about what is our value prop, why are we different? The problem is all the things that we say are the same things that everybody else says, and it doesn't really differentiate ourselves, right? Now I'm not talking about chucking a truck, right? I mean, I can't, that's a different situation. But if it's another legitimate chimney company and they're calling me and them, they're going to be licensed, insured. They're going to be certified. They're going to, run cameras. They're going to answer the phone. They're going to have an office staff. They're going to give warranties. They're going to be there when you need them. And so, the point that we make here is that this kind of gets into the sales stuff. This stuff's all important, but when is the only time the customer cares about any of this stuff? Well, when they ask about it, but specifically, when does a customer care about any of this stuff?
I've never had anybody ask me if I was certified or about warranties or any of that.
No, they do not care about it in the sales process. When do they care about it?
When something goes wrong.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Makes sense.
Everything's dandy as long as things go right. But if something goes wrong, I need to know you're going to be there. But people they just assume you're going to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that is so wrong in this industry, right? How many people don't even answer the damn phone? Like the bar is so low in our industry that the people that are doing it right are they're saying these things. But yeah, even if it's not true, they're saying it, right? It's like, I'm not going to go in and say, well, there's some other companies with better warranties, than we offer, or, our customer service is kind of sketchy. It's not, you're not going to say that, right? You're going to say the same thing that everybody else is saying. So when it comes down to, and I love showing this slide, I've showed it many times, is that this is all the classes I've done. These are people that say the same things that everybody is saying. We have great people. We have the best warranties. We've been in business a long time. We're certified. We do all this kind of stuff. If this thing falls on my head, I'm suing. Just kidding. All the things.
Francis owns the company.
Yeah, that's right. We're a minority-owned company. All your people are saying the same thing. So at the end of the day, what does it come down to? Price is the same. We're saying the same thing. It's all about you. The people are buying you, right? They're buying the experience that you give them. That your experience was better than the other experience, right? They trusted you more. They liked you more. They believed you more. They felt you cared more, right? If the prices are equivalent, right? The work is equivalent. The companies are equivalent. The thing that's going to make the difference is the experience you give them. That's why when we go through this process, there's going to be some things in there you're going to like, oh, bro, I really did. Yes, because your competition is not doing that. And it is the experience that you give. And I love the Maya Angelou quote up here. I use it all the time. People forget what you say, what you do. They never forget the way you make them feel, right? It is when that customer walks away, did it feel like you were wearing the plaid jacket? Or did it feel like you were truly there to help them understand the problem they had, and that you were truly there to solve that problem for them and help them understand it, right? If you deliver a better experience, the little things, the booties, the drop cloths, the bringing in the package, that was on the front porch, the using standoffs on the ladders, just little things that you do. Hey, I noticed that you had a roof boot up there that had some cracks in it. I went ahead and put some silicone around it while I was up there. I had some on the truck, right? All of that plus one, that little things that you do that's going to mean something to your customer, right? So this is when we deliver, so let's go back to the price objection, right? We said that in order to not get a price objection, we have to raise the number in the customer's head to be higher than the number that we give them. So in order to do that, we have to add what? You've heard this in sales your whole life. If the price is too much, you didn't add enough what? Value. That's exactly right. So let's talk about what value is, right? So people say that all the time. What is it like? You gotta add more value. What the hell's value? Like, how do I add it, right? Like, is it a thing? Do I give it to them? Value, and Warren Buffett said it better than anybody. Actually, Dale Carnegie said it better than anybody. But Warren said, "Price is what you pay, value is what you get." Right, and that's really, what am I getting out of this? And it's not what am I paying for. What am I getting out of this? And it's all the little things that you do or that you say that your customer remembers that your competition doesn't do is what adds value to them, right? So when you take the time to explain moisture content in wood, when you take time to explain residency time, when you take time to pet the dog, talk about the cat, whatever it is, right? When all those little things that you do are the things that will make your customer remember you, and that will just simply build more trust and credibility, which, remember, trust is the number one killer of sales. So at the end of the day, the simplest thing, this is not a hard math. If you don't add enough value to get that number in the customer's head to be higher than what they expect, you will receive price objections. It is that simple. So our goal is going to be, let's add enough value, whatever that looks like, to that customer. We're talking about things that they care about before we get the price. And so if there's any book in the world, has anybody read this besides Doug? Mm-hmm. I know you've read this, but Kevin, you read it?
Oh yeah.
Probably see, I will buy it if you'll read it. I think it's that important. Every person on the planet should read this book. You should buy it literally and start reading it today. I hate reading, but I'll listen to books all the time. My wife reads for fun. I don't understand that. She literally enjoys it. It's like pulling teeth for me. But I'm on planes a lot, so I have to do a lot of Audible and listen to a lot of books. So this book is a 1920s book, so it's old. There's a couple versions of it. A lot of the references are outdated, but the message is the same. It's Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book is, the reason I say it's probably one of the most important books of our time, or not even his time, is, does anybody here ever get on the internet? You ever been on social media? How nice are people on there?
Not nice.
No. Yeah, right? How many times do you find yourself changing people's opinions on the internet by typing words? Right?
Stay away from chimney chatter.
Yeah, God, chimney chatter's so I'm gonna talk to Doug here about all the benefits of how great Joe Biden is, and we'll see how well that goes, right? Right?
Well, why would you assume? Have you read my posts?
We have become a society where we can't converse intelligently anymore. We cannot we can't have a conversation without it being right and wrong and argumentative and you're stupid. I can't believe you think that way. And we have forgot how to be humans, right? And I blame the internet. I blame politics. I blame all this stuff. But Carnegie's book is all about going back to just being a good person, right? Literally, how do you become nice again? How do you become a better friend, a better partner, a better husband, better brother, better dad, better everything? And so, if we could just learn to listen to people, right? You could be an idiot, and I'm never gonna. But hey, that I don't know. I understand that you believe that, right? That's literally the definition of empathy, right? It is. I don't have to go in and say, well, I think you're the biggest dumbass on the world and that you've been brainwashed by whatever. But at the end of the day, look, I can see how you would believe that, or hey, that's certainly your thing, right? I will tell you as a salesperson, the only con that I do is, and this is, I'm not proud of it, but I will tell you, I will honestly be the biggest Biden supporter or the biggest Trump supporter, depending on what channel's on TV when I walk in the house. That's just the truth. It's like if it's a Fox News, I know what we're talking about. If it's CNN or whatever, I know what we're talking about. I don't bring it up. Never bring it up, right? But if they start going through it, yeah, man, I tell you, that guy's an idiot. You know, if they start talking about it, I don't care which one it is. Like I am talking in terms of your interest. So, but what I hate the word influence, right? The word influence is almost like manipulative, right? Like what you said earlier. So, but the way I look at influence is influence. Roughly, and this may not be true with your all's math, roughly 25% of people are going to buy from you because of your company, right? Like you have set a reputation in this market since 2006, 13?
2007. is when we
2007.
started.
So since 2007, you've been serving clients, you've been serving them well, you have great reviews, you have an A+ reputation. People do research on your company, they feel good about your company, and they are willing to buy from your company because of the influence of others, right? Referrals or reviews, right? 25% of people are never going to buy from your company because they're not your customer, right? They just need the single flue cap $50 from Home Depot, and they want to pass a home inspection, and they don't care about value and lifetime warranties and all that kind of stuff. Not your customer. But it's that other 50% in the middle that, dependent on the person that shows up and dependent on the process that goes in, will decide, does that person do business with you or not? And that's really when we talk about how do you influence, that's the 50% that I'm talking about. So when you get into this book, these were my kind of 6 biggest takeaways from the book. And like you can see, none of them are hard, right? All it is just be genuinely interested in other people. How can I help you? What can I do for you today? Not what can I do to make a sale, right? Smile. I swear to you, on Thursday, I went out with a guy with Barnhill, and I told, I'll show you my notes, I'm not making this up. I said, does not have fun. Literally, that was my biggest note. The dude never smiled. Like, you ever been around somebody with just like resting bitch face, and it's like, you don't even want to be around them. It's like, Jesus, dude. Like, are you serious? Like smile. Let me know you're human, right? It's you know what I'm talking about? Everybody knows that person, and it's like, when you're just in there and you're going through the motions and you're like, yeah, your chimney's missing, some border, and you need to, it's like, Jesus, I'd rather have a root canal, right? And like that people are not going to buy from that guy, right? And I told him, I was like, man, until you learn to start having fun, you learn to start relating to people, this is going to be a grind for you, right? So he said, this is probably his most famous quote.
Right, you're so right. The better you get at your job, the more fun you're gonna have.
That's right.
The more fun you have, the better you're gonna. It's like the self-fulfilling
That's
thing.
right.
Because then you get people excited.
That's right.
About their chimney. I never heard that before.
That's right.
You never had me out here before.
That's
Well,
right.
I haven't had a job. Well, you didn't call. I don't know.
That's
And
right.
next thing you know, you're having fun.
That's
And-
right. Well, I have fun at every job, whether they're having fun or not, right?
Yeah.
So again, I'm not saying I'm my own personality. You gotta have your own personality, but I make bad dad jokes, I make groaners, I make the whole thing. I mean, like I have some of the same things I do over and over, and there's some people that I'm with, they're like, I can't believe you said that to that customer, and I'm like, man, you gotta read the room. You gotta read the room. Yeah, this, like, literally just bringing stuff from this last week, examples, the lady that didn't have the chimneys, right? She just called us for all this stuff, and she's like, I'm so embarrassed. She said, my house is a mess. You guys are, I was like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but it's pretty bad. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, I'm just kidding, man. You live here. I was like, of course. It's like, people work, they have a life. And she had a lawnmower, like an electric lawnmower on her carpet. And I was like, there's other ways to take care of the carpet, right? And she's like dying. The guy I'm with is like, you're a freaking idiot. Like, what? Like, why are you talking to the customer? I was like, I have fun, And so, one of his most famous things is remember that the customer's name is the sweetest sound that they'll ever hear in any language. And so if you're ever with me, and even today in role playing, you'll always hear me say Miss Jones or Karen or whatever the case may be. Always use their name, personalize it, right? It makes us have that friendship, that relationship. We're a one-on-one. We're not technician customer. We're Alan and Christian, right? So we're kind of going through this. So be a good listener, right? Always just the 2 ears, 1 mouth kind of thing. Listen to twice as much as you talk. Talk in terms of their interest, and make them feel important and be genuine about it, right? So I'm going to give you guys one. If you've watched one of these videos, you may have already seen this, but I'm going to give you one forced rapport technique that works very, very well. And you got to decide what your own comfort level is of how much of your life that you're willing to share. But I have a folder on my iPad and my phone that has my life in it. really. I mean, it has roughly 40 pictures of just about anything in my life that you can imagine. It has my friends, it has my dog, it has my grandbabies, it has trips I've taken, it has bourbons that I like, it has sports that I've coached, Titans games that I'm at, you name it, right? It's got things that of my life that I do. No one cares about my life until when? When would somebody even care about that I like drinking wine?
So you connected with them about them drinking wine.
Exactly, right? If they enjoy drinking wine, now I can make a connection. Oh my God, literally I went with Kevin and his wife and my wife, we went to Napa August of last year for their anniversary, and we drank enough wine again to drown a fish, and we have some great pictures maybe we'll share with you one night if we're drinking. But the idea is like, man, what's your favorite wine? What is your whole thing? So I make it a goal, and you should write this down. I make it a goal to share at least one personal picture of my life to my customer in the home, only about an interest that they have. If they coach baseball, I'm gonna show you a picture of me coaching my son baseball. If they're into hockey, I'm gonna show you about how I broke my arm at the Stanley Cup game at the Nashville Predators, right? If they are into bourbon, I'm gonna show you my bourbon bar, right? If they got grandbabies, guess what? They're seeing videos of my grandbabies. They got a dog, they got a high energy dog, I'm showing you a video of my dog running on a treadmill
Or you taking pictures of the dog.
Theirs.
Yeah.
People ask me that quite a bit. Like, I'll ask permission. I've got actually one client in Minnesota that they do a pet of the week. Like the one guy, like, hey, here's Ryan with his pet of the week, and they make it like a whole thing. I used to keep treats and things like that in my truck, and I'd ask for permission if I could, leave a treat, and that always goes. I don't do it so much anymore since I travel, but I like that kind of stuff. I used to have people that would send like cards, they would take a picture and they would send like a Christmas card with that person's dog on it. Hey, thinking of you, Merry Christmas. So there's little things that you can do with that. But the idea here is you want to talk in terms of their interest. If I just talk about all the things that I like, you're like, who cares? But if you like it, then all of a sudden you're interested. So this is an example of my report folder, just a few things on it. I used to coach my son's baseball team. I got my grandbabies on there. My dream trip of my life was when I went to the Coliseum. So when would I show a picture of me in the Coliseum? If they're talking about Italy, or they're talking about the Coliseum, they're talking about this big Europe trip. Oh my God, I gotta show you this. My dog, my crazy ass dog. My Titans pictures. I had season tickets for 20 years. I used to play poker semi-professionally. I mean, it's me and Annie Duke and Daniel Negreanu and a bunch of people drinking beers and all that stuff. I used to act. It's like me in a Taylor Swift video, and me and Darius Rucker's Wagon Wheel video, me in a zombie movie. And so nobody cares about any of that stuff, but these little 14-year-old girls that are wearing a Taylor Swift shirt, I'm like the coolest guy in the room when I tell them I was in a Taylor Swift video. They're like, shut up, you know her. And it's like this whole weird thing, So, but again, I'm never gonna, if I just went up to you and like, hey man, I'm at a Taylor Swift video, like, whatever, loser. It's like, it's like, okay. But there's certain people that care. If people play poker, they like Daniel Negreanu, all of a sudden I'm like, damn, that's cool. You gotta drink beers with Daniel Negreanu. Yeah, man, a long time ago I used to own a poker league, blah, blah, blah. Make it a goal that every single appointment you find one thing about your life to share with them that they have an interest in, and you will be shocked at how the conversation just opens up. You become a person, you become just like them, you become a person they like, you become a person that they immediately have a bond with, because you have that life connection outside of this work, right? I'm telling you, just try it, it's magic, okay?
It works. I noticed in a bathroom one time this painting of a place in France that I had been to, and so I said, "Oh, I like the painting you have in there, Saint-Secours." She goes, "I didn't know that."
Yeah.
So I said, "You were there." And then all she did was talk the next half an hour about her and her husband.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, "Do you want me to go ahead and just go ahead and just write it up?"
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't even talk about the chimney. It was all about the photo.
That's exactly
no,
right.
we've had it up for 15 years. No one's ever said anything.
Yeah.
And it was like magic.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. So yeah, people buy from people they like. So take that opportunity to do that. So we're still a little early, but we'll go ahead. This is a perfect time. We'll get a little break, stopping point. We can go ahead and do lunch. I would like to, just because we lost some time on the front end, I would like to do kind of a working lunch if we can. Just otherwise, we'll be staying later. So I don't know about you guys. I'd rather get out earlier than later. We can eat and talk, and then we'll take 5 minutes, get your stuff. We'll continue on here, and then we'll take 10 or 15 minute break after everybody's food's settled and deal with bathrooms and things like that.
Okay.